going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk. You already know, man. We in here. This is episode 322. So you already know this has been quite the journey so far. Again, shout out to everybody who has been a part of it, who's been supporting. Shout out to everybody who has contributed in any way, been watching the lives, gaining from the information. Shout out to everybody who has been watching on the replays. Much appreciated. Always glad to know that you're able to catch these. Sending you support, life, and energy as well. Whatever you may be going through at this time. Hopefully you guys all are thriving in your individual journeys. Shout out to all of my Evolve members, all of my Patreon members. Definitely if you are somebody who is interested in receiving one-on-one coaching, virtual education, and just to help to really reach peak levels in your mental health, in your relationships, in your physical health, and your life purpose, all of these main core areas of internal happiness, definitely make sure you let me know. Make sure you click the links. For all the members that I do work with currently, we're making some really good progress. So thank you for making the choice and the decision to become a part of this project and this initiative, and in becoming a member. So again, www.patreon.com/happinessdecoded101. And you can also reach the Evolve membership by going to the link in my bio as well. And always make sure that it's in the captions as well, just so you have no trouble finding it. And again, shout out to all of my members so far for making the decision to want to move forward and to take the added support. This membership thing is something that I'm putting a lot of my energy into, and a lot of my creative space, just so that I can help you solve the problems and the internal barriers that you have right now in the swiftest way, the most seamless way to weave the strategies into your normal everyday routine, so that you can start to see tangible progress in those areas. It's about feeling better. It's about functioning better. It's about taking better actions, having better perspectives, and receiving better as well. So if you are encountering any kind of anxiety, depression, and hopelessness and unfulfillment, dating and relationship triggers, definitely make sure you click the link, patreon.com/happinessdecoded101. So shout out to everybody in the room. Before we get started, Ruby, what's up? Nigel, what's going on? Other Erica, how you doing? Blessing you, what's up? Shari, what's going on? Toya, what's up? Dawn, what's up? Betsy, what's going on? And Erica Wood, what's up? What's up? We got two Ericas in the building now, so gotta separate so we know who's who. But shout out to y'all, man. Excellent start to my week so far. Great people, great vibes. Shout out to Shari, shout out to Erica. In a great zone. I'm in a high expectation of things manifesting. Definitely in a positive mood space. I'm definitely going to probably next live, or over the next live, just give you guys an idea of some of the things that have been going on behind the scenes, some things that I'm doing. But right now, we want to get into the topic at hand. Tonight we're talking about friendships and dating, and the complex interplay between those two. Now, in a perfect world, your friendships would enhance your dating life. Sabotaging, what's up? Your friendships would enhance your dating life and your dating choices, right? Because anything that surrounds us or is in close connection to us should complete, just like last night we talked about momentum. Anybody in your circle should be a part or a gear in the whole machine that causes the momentum to go in the correct direction, in the direction of the most growth, the most success, the most positivity, the most added drive towards your personal goals and your lifestyle of choice and things like that, you know, better feeling spaces, better opportunities, those sorts of things. So now, this guy, Dawn got the, y'all got popcorn out already. Y'all can tell sometimes what's going down. So there happens to be, let me see, Betsy says, my mom always told me to marry your best friend, and she did, and been married 40 plus years. I tried it and lost that person when it ended. Yeah. So this is actually a subject I can go a lot of places with, because there's the dating your friends element, and then there's the interplay between your actual friends and the subject of dating. Like, so maybe your same-sex friends and how they influence the process, and in some cases may be a detractor in the process. You know, certain friends may date your exes. Certain friends may have certain energy for the people that you date. Certain friends may inject bitterness into your dating journey to almost make you feel negative about the process because of how they feel. Or, you know, the closer you get to progressing with somebody, you know, the more they have to say in order to deter you from actually becoming successful in relationships, or actually acting in a way that's healthy when it comes to actual relationships. Trina, what's up? Also, you may have friends, and keep these in mind, because I want you guys to pull from these examples and let me know if any of these experiences resonate. Because, you know, if you guys have an experience, if you want to get on camera and things like that, there's so many different places we could go. In addition to that, Brent, what's up? In addition to that, we can also look at how our friends act in relationships. Meaning, you got a close friend, you got a best friend, when they have the semblance of a relationship, they all of a sudden disappear. They can't be relied on. They can't communicate. They don't have any, you know, sort of interaction with you whatsoever. Now, mind you, obviously, if you get into a relationship, your attention's going to be split. Things will change, but they shouldn't change in extremes. And you do have the friend who, once they get a partner, you're done. It's over for you. And you had no idea that you had just a flight risk on your hands. You have somebody who didn't deserve no bond, because as soon as they was out of there. As soon as they got somebody, they were gone, right? And you know, I've actually been on the receiving end of situations like that, where you know, once a relationship comes into play, you know, there's no contact. I actually had a homegirl who she was in a relationship, and I ain't speak to her in it's like a year, 2 years or something like that. And then she came back after the relationship kind of busted up or whatever, and you know, wanted my help with, I guess, the aftermath of it, you know, and that's very interesting too, because I'll put it to you like this. Myself, I may be a little bit different, because if my friends, if I consider you a friend, I'm gonna make sure, or at least attempt to make sure that you don't walk into something that I can see a mile away is going to be toxic, or end tragically, or end abruptly, or you know, a situation that's going to harm you. I'm not going to let you just drive off the cliff. I mean, at least without saying anything. You know what I'm saying? And I think you know, people, if you know me, you get conditioned to know that if you let me in on certain information, I'm gonna tell you real. And sometimes it may be that you shouldn't move forward. And a lot of times people don't want to hear that, because they may be emotionally connected. Jeremiah, what's up? Nancy, what's up? They may be emotionally invested at that time, so they don't want to hear anything to the contrary of them moving forward with that relationship. So I have female friends that hide from me. When they doing wrong, they hiding and ducking, because they have a good sense and an idea of what my input might be. They know it's valid, and they know that you know, it very well could save them a lot of time and heartache and energy, but at the same time they may not be ready to hear certain information. So, you know, in addition to that, I've been in situations where, you know, people just get swept up in the process. And I think being just, you know, when it comes to just enmeshment, and, you know, you getting into a relationship and then cutting off all outside ties is very, very unhealthy. And it's very destructive in a lot of ways, because again, you know, when I've been in those situations, I knew, I'm like, you're gonna be back. You're gonna be right back. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the advice, looking for, you know, that type of comforting energy and things like that. But I say all that to say, when it comes down to friendships and dating, you have to, number one, be sure about the company you keep, right? The mindset of the company you keep. Number one, you have to understand that even if you have years with someone, longtime friends, right? Friendships, etc. First thing you gotta understand, these people aren't gonna, Latasha, what's up? First thing you gotta understand is, like, don't feel or believe that things will remain the same because they acted one way way back then when you first connected with them or whatever. Don't think that just because they act a certain way, they're gonna continue to be that way in the future, right? Time does things to people. Life circumstances do things to people, right? So maybe they were trustworthy when there was nothing really to trust about. If you were kids and growing up and stuff like that, you knew them a certain way, you know, that doesn't mean that now they can be completely trusted, meaning that they have your best interests at heart, or they wouldn't date your ex, or they wouldn't steer you off of, you know, when it comes to dating, or interfere or bring a sort of, just be kind of just ridden with just certain agendas. Doesn't mean that they're not in mental competition with you. It doesn't mean that, you're not in a situation where, insecurity is breeding behind the scenes. And this may have very well been the process for years, maybe the whole time you've even known the person, right? When it comes to dating now, you could be in a very dangerous situation, just because of the fact if you, Brent, see, I'm right on time. All right, bet. Oh shit, yeah, all right. So, like, you have to understand that. I put it like this, I know how things are going to turn out for me already, as far as what I will manifest, as far as, being successful in the areas, that I dedicate myself to, my purpose and things like that. And that's destiny, right? Now, I always say destiny has a revolving guest list. And what I mean by that is, there used to be a time when I would feel inspired. I'd be, working hard, goal setting, and the people around me at that time, the people I was connected to closely at that time, I used to envision them when it all worked out, right? When it all, when I made it, when it all hit, when it all connected, I envisioned them there. I spoke often of having them there, and that, in those moments, being able to, see everything manifest and, see what I said was going to happen. And I realized year after year that certain people showed their true colors, showed themselves, showed a different side of themselves, right? And this information was a gift, and that gift has to be open, meaning that gift is meant to be, there's something meant to be done there. And I did exactly what I was supposed to do, which was do what I needed to do to make sure that what they showed me, the information was heeded. And so that meant that I had to separate from different people along the way, different junctures, different short eras of time. People were right there with me. And then they did certain things that I now know at this next juncture, things have to move a different way. At this juncture here, this I can't do this. This is going to be harmful for me. This is going to be detrimental. And I did what I needed to do each way, and it always worked out. It always worked out. And keeping that internal mechanism caused me to do what was necessary, even though in those moments I wanted those people there. When things were much different, or the stages I was at were much earlier in the process, I wanted those people there. Cool. I say it's a revolving guest list. You can rotate yourself right out of the process, and it doesn't matter if I've known you, you know what I'm saying, from 3 years old to 30 years old. Like, this life thing is not static, and I pride myself on being somebody who is evolution based. I'm based on evolving and growth, and I like to inspire that in the friendships that I choose. Right now, it's still up to them to be whoever they are. And if that whoever they are is destructive to my process or to my growth or my situation, then a different choice has to be made, right? And so even in that process, if we look at friends who may be low-key competing with you, or wanting what you have, or envious of what you have, or jealous of qualities that you have, right? Which you can't be expected become somebody else or vibrate lower based on somebody else's expectations at any point. So you have that on the one end. And the major thing to really focus on is, why are you compromising everything that you value, everything that you are, and all and your inner peace and growth process and manifestations? Why are you compromising that for people who would seek to destroy it, minimize it, compete with it, pull the rug out from under you, or not reciprocate? The lack of reciprocation. A lot of you are in friendships that you're not even benefiting from. So you're wearing the jersey for a team that's not even paying you to play. Damn. Brandon's funny. You must be in the zone with it. What? Now, the same way that a lot of you have left relationships for a man or a woman being dead weight, not doing their part, not putting in the effort. You left people for not doing that. You left partners for not holding up their end, not giving you 100%, not even giving you 50%. You doing the most, them not doing anything back. Not cherishing you, not appreciating you, not pouring into you, right? You cut them off. You broke up. You left them. But these friends somehow have immunity. These friends been doing the same thing to you 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20. Same shit. Why do they get a pass? What's the difference? Because lack of reciprocation is lack of reciprocation. So, vice versa. You shouldn't be in relationships and giving your partners a pass if you would cut your friend off for doing the same thing, or for not doing the same thing. So the interplay between friendships and relationships is realer than you think, because the same things you stand for wholeheartedly on one side, it don't go on the other side. And then what's worse, if you are doing this on both ends, meaning allowing for everybody to get a pass, the partners and the so-called friendships. Both sides, in those scenarios, you are severely compromised, and there, that's where the self-care element comes in, because that's when we have to start asking ourselves, why the self-torture? Why are we allowing for people to benefit and not contribute? Why are we allowing jealous energy in, envious energy in? Why are we allowing somebody to express their displaced anger on us, displaced hostility on us, their insecurities, making you the blueprint or the board for their for their insecurities. You the punching bag for whatever they have gone through, whatever they have endured in their past situations, right? So why are we allowing, out of maybe a sense of loyalty, right? But what do those loyalty points get you at the end of the day? When you sit down, or when you come home after engaging with these individuals in your life, and whatever triggers they come with, whatever hostile energy or argumentative energy or competitive energy or draining energy they come with, how many points do you have on the board at that point? What's the loyalty worth if it's directed or given to the wrong person? And vice versa. Let's go over here. Let's talk about relationships, right? How many times has that misplaced loyalty been worth nothing at the end of a situation, relationship, situationship, whatever it is, right? You can't earn your way into unconditional love. It doesn't work. I'll say it again. You can't earn your way into unconditional love, because unconditional love is based on who you are, not about what you can do, how you can over contribute, how you can over sacrifice. You can't earn that. But some of us have been acting as if it can be earned. The more loyal I am, I can inspire or incite loyalty in somebody else. My loyal energy, this is the mindset, my loyal energy and my consistency of putting effort and energy into this person, my support, nourishment, will light and ignite loyalty in them, so that I can receive my just due. However, what's up, Jess? However, you cannot. This doesn't work. You cannot ignite loyalty in somebody else. You can't make somebody become like you. And you can't make somebody love you unconditionally, no matter how much you try to prove your worth to somebody else. And a lot of us are on a campaign auditioning to prove our worth to somebody else, so that we can almost bribe them into showing us unconditional love. Look at how that works. So all of this effort, all of those situations where you could have did this, but you stayed loyal, you stayed righteous, you stayed, in their corner, right? And then all for nothing. But the key thing is, you knew. On some level, you knew. Some level, you knew that this ain't right. They ain't never gonna change. A lot of times we put ourselves in situations that we know aren't right, so that we can hope that they switch it up. We can hope for the change. Don't hope for the change. Accept nothing less than. It should come up front. A lot of what we ask for, what we would like, how we would like things to be, should come up front. We're talking about friendships and relationships. So those standards for relationships, you got to see that up front, right? Let's not get caught up in the Temptations 5 Heartbeats 1960s record deal situation where we signed the contract with the promise of money. Oh yeah, we gonna get you the advance for y'all gonna be rich, y'all gonna be millionaires, y'all got talent. We gonna get you a Cadillac, y'all got talent, y'all, yeah, sign right here, don't even read it, sign right here. We gonna get you everything you dreamed of, baby, we gonna be in the lap of luxury, baby. Sign right here. Next thing you know, you dangling off the side of the balcony with somebody telling you that they office hours is from 9 to 5 because you fighting for royalties. You hanging off the side of the hotel fighting for royalties. Isabella was... How many times y'all seen that? That's because you didn't get it up front. You didn't get everything you deserved up front. Don't be afraid to ask for it up front. I need to know what's going on here. And if it switches up, you have the opportunity to leave. Now, back to the friendships. If somebody was loyal in the past, somebody helped you through tragedies in the past, you was hustling together, you was running the streets together, you was bouncing between hustling, trying to get jobs together, right? You had $3 between you. Over here, yeah, y'all gotta watch the replay, because if y'all just coming in, y'all don't know what the hell's going on. Over here, and at a certain point, things switched up. At a certain point, they changed, right? They started to treat you different. They started to engage with you different. They started to pull away on the effort. They started to compromise your situations, your relationships, your dating situation, or just any part of your journey. Whether, let's say, for example, you start leveling up business-wise. You come up with your own business. You start to show growth. It starts to progress. And this person, now you see that they've switched up. Remember, nobody's gonna come in your life. I'll say it differently. Sometimes people come into your life and they play a certain role, and you don't know who they really are until a certain scenario happens, a certain situation happens. And that is the key to let you know who exactly they are. Let's say, for example, and I hate using this example, but let's say, for example, you go out to the club, you got a lifetime friend, right? Y'all been friends for 25 years. They sacrificed everything for you or whatever. And, y'all end up in a situation, well, there's two situations. One, you get a partner, and let's say now that's the X factor to where they start to treat you different, or they pushing up a little bit too much on that person. So you kind of see who they are there. Or let's say, for example, y'all go out to a club, you have a good time, somebody start with you, they run off, they book it, right? So you're left with intel when things start to shift. If there's a particular shift, a lot of times you won't really know somebody until certain circumstances happen. And again, if your person, your particular friend was cool and great and loyal until you got somebody, and then they started to switch up, or until you start to hit heights, whether it's personal growth, whether it's business and things like that, your success starts to rise, and that becomes the trigger point to where their support of you doesn't happen anymore. You may be like, well, where did that come from? I thought we were always supportive. No, this person was comfortable when y'all were broke together. They were comfortable when y'all were vibrating on the same level. They were comfortable when they didn't have to look at you, or you weren't an example of maybe perceived failures, or not reaching certain heights in their own personal life, right? When you were on the same level, it's easy, because now we're in the same boat. When we cry together, we laugh together, it's for the same stuff. Nobody's above anybody else. We're in the same range. It's a safe spot. Now you start to level up. That switches. Now you have somebody who's jealous. They're minimizing your successes. They don't want to hear about your stories whenever things go right. And they're saying bad things behind your back about your business. They're deterring people from even doing business, handling business with you, right? So in this type of situation, by you doing great things, you have, not you, but they have been triggered by that into a point of insecurity. And that's not your fault. But here's the choice. I call this balancing the room. I've seen it a million times. People have two options with you, right? Because friendships never they don't stay the same. They change. And if people have two decisions, they can either, try to even or balance the room or balance the energy by seeing where you've taken it and pull you downward, trigger you emotionally, sabotage in all different kinds of ways to make you feel certain ways, etc. What they say, the tone they use, not interacting with you as much and things like that. Yeah. So if that's the case, they either have that option, which a lot of times they take that option, or they have the option of being somebody who wants to learn, wants to grow from it, wants to interact with you and say, hey, look, I see you've been a major success. How do I become like that in my industry? Help me find my particular purpose and things like that. Any help, any tutorial, any sort of how can you help me to level up? I want to be a part. I like what you're doing, right? And to be honest, that option is always there. But very few people choose that. Very few people choose that option because, again, when you're really looking at it, a lot of people have deep-seated insecurities that have nothing to do with you, but again, they have been awakened by your success because you were always looked at as the person that they could go to when they were broke, when things were vibrating, things were all the same. And so in actuality, you definitely want to examine this, and you really want to do what's necessary when you see these things occurring. When you see this come out in somebody, you got to make your choices, because that insecurity and whenever there's fear involved, and people feel threatened by you, that's a problem, because you can't unthreaten somebody. You can't make somebody feel unthreatened. How many times have y'all had somebody that was like, you felt like they was jealous of you or their situation was worse than yours, and you stifled what you said about your successes based on them? Or you now talk down about your own successes because you don't want to trigger them or you don't want them to feel bad, right? And I can see if there was a recent tragedy or something like that where you don't want to necessarily throw your business out there. I'm talking about on a regular basis. Look, if I talked about everything I'm working on, I would be ecstatic. If I had a best friend who I call and I now sound like I don't even believe in myself. I call and I sound like I don't even believe in what I'm doing no more, because you gotta watch people, but you have to watch what you do in connection to people. You gotta watch how you sound on the phone. Why do you sound like Why do you sound like you don't believe yourself? You don't believe in what you're doing. Your voice changed. You get lower. You done. Like, why you in the library? Why you whispering about your success, man? I thought you just made money. You got 10 new customers and you in here like that? Now, in the realm of the power of words, the power of energy, come on, man. That's not. And low key, you're sabotaging your own. You're sabotaging your own energy, and your own manifestation as well. So if this happens when you're on, hey, all right, come down. If this happens, go get your tablet. If this happens while you're just on the phone with them, what you gonna do when you have an event? What you gonna do when you have a party, a celebration? What you gonna do when you on TV or something? Like you can't even explain it without stifling yourself or censoring yourself. So you are, they have influenced you to suppress your own energy for your own success. Now, okay, we got the word friend and the words suppressing your own success. How does friend and suppressing your own success connect together? Those words shouldn't be yards. They should be yards away. Those two do not intersect. They don't. It's not the same energy. But the problem is some of you don't have a reference point for what it's like to have somebody reciprocate your energy. So you settle for people who don't. And I'm going to keep it a brick. I'd rather have nobody. You have to look at life like that. Even if you have to hit a point where your circle's so corrupt, you burn the whole thing down and start all over. They will find you. The reciprocators will find you as long as you keep generating that type of energy. But what happens is you let this non-reciprocator in, you let this non-reciprocator in, you call this non-reciprocator 10 times a day. Now, what's vibrating within you is people don't reciprocate, and it's normal. I'm not going to get it back. It ain't going to come back. Because you allow so much of that energy into your sphere of influence, it's now vibrating within you. This is you now. What did they tell you since you was 14? Watch the people you hang with. The people you hang with, you're going to start acting like. The people you hang with are going to influence the way that you see the world. Am I right? I ain't make that up. I made up a lot of dope fire quotes. I didn't make that one up. That's old. So really examine it. Because a lot of times, again, I boil it down to fear. The fear is, if I chop my circle down, I got nothing. But your circle is not your lifeline. I've been a lot of places alone, man. I lived in a car. I was sleeping in offices. Like I've been in a lot of places. I just isolated. You know what I'm saying? And did what I needed to do. Felt how I needed to feel. Generated what I needed to generate in order to not only survive different situations, but to thrive within them, despite the situation. To find the best in whatever is happening in that season of time. And to know that what I ask for will come as long as I follow the flow. As long as I'm predicated upon reaching my heights, no matter what phase I'm in, and following intuition, those reciprocal friends will come. Those finances will fall into place. That purpose will crystallize and things will converge to make that a reality. Find the best in what you got now. And a lot of y'all are sitting in circles that is not the best of anything. Would hardly be qualified as the best possible friends you could have. And what's worse, they're nothing like you. If you're the person, if you're the person who is putting out all of that energy, then your friends by just default being the polar opposite are not like that. They are drainers, and energy vampires, so to speak. And if that's the case, that's not who you are. So why vibrate this close to people who are the opposite of you? Let's bring it to relationships. If you are somebody who is loyal, supportive, nourishing, right? Why are you with somebody who's not? Why do they even get a consideration? They should have no consideration whatsoever. But sometimes they do. Why? Because we don't have the reference point of better. Somebody doesn't have to be in your inventory or dating history to exist in your future. Can we get to that? Let me get to that. Let me put this together for you, right? And I want you to sleep on this. The person who is going to be your soulmate, your connection, right? And to fall in the perfect time that you're going to connect with the healed, the whole, the evolved qualities that you look for, that you're after, right? That doesn't have to exist in your dating history to exist in your future. Why does it have to be because you never met them that you could never meet them? Who said that? Where does it say that? Religious texts, anything that you follow, spirituality, systems, and just any sort of, where did we get that from? Better start believing in something different. Because here's the thing about it. I always say evolve oneself first, right? And the progress that you made as a human being over time and that you continue to make, those reference points aren't there. You've never been at the peaks that you're at now, before now, right? As a kid, when people bought you clothes, did they buy you the same size that you are if you were in the growing phase, or did they give you some clothes maybe a notch or two above that? Because the expectation was you're going to fit those clothes when the time is right. Those clothes will fit when the time is right and the time is coming. Why that level of expectation? Why that gamble to give us a one size up? Because we knew somewhere that where they are now, height-wise, weight, that's going to change. So if that changes, you've changed. If I ask some of y'all, are y'all the same people pre-breakup, post-breakups, divorces? If I ask y'all now, are y'all the same people back then? All of y'all say no. I'm different, I'm grown, I'm whole, I'm healing, right? How the hell did you get there? You never was there before. How does this level, this version of you exist if it never existed? That's the logic we following, right? If that's the logic, then it will be impossible for you to exist right now. And it's definitely impossible for you to meet that right person because it never existed. You got to get out of that, man. Y'all got all kind of vision boards for all the other stuff. High expectation. I'm going to get that car regardless. You don't go to the vision board like, man, I ain't never had it. How I'm going to get it? I ain't never had no Benz. How I'm going to get that? Ain't even got no members. Dealerships around Yeah, I don't even live near no dealership. How do people get that? I don't get that. Why not? Well, I never had it. I never had one. I don't know nobody with one. Okay. Keep following your friends in effed up relationships and looking at that as the blueprint for how you gonna get you, what's gonna happen to you. Okay. That's how you keep the rotation and momentum in a fearful negative space. Keeping that type of energy around. So if you have friends and people connected to you who are influencing this type of thought, you know what you need to do. You can explain it or you can't. Doesn't matter how you go about it. You can go about it respectfully. You can dip out. You can do whatever you want to do. I would encourage you separating yourself from situations that or people or levels of influence that are putting you in the worst spaces. They're putting you in the worst mindsets because they are influencing you, whether you like it or not, whether you think that you're your own person or not, whether you argue them down every Friday, you're still influenced. And if it's negative, you got to do what you got to do. And on the dating side as well, because if you don't rid yourself of these, you cannot manifest what you want to manifest. And because of the fear of not manifesting that, a lot of times you try to keep a bunch of BS around you so that you can't get it. We form our own blockades from those things because, again, that's the unknown. Never seen it before, never had it before. That's the unknown. Human nature fears the unknown. So what can I do? I'm going to sabotage myself. I'm going to keep all of these whack friends around and be loyal to all of them. Because I know that barricade will keep me from being out there. And because the fear is I'm going to get my hopes up and it ain't going to happen. So I'm going to make it definitely not happen. Intentionally. Now, a lot of y'all may not be conscious of this, but it's happening in the background. Because y'all got more intuition than you think. But, blessing. I think this is my time. So, I'm going to say hi. Say bye. Say bye.
I already said hi.
You said, no, say bye now. You're leaving.
Erica, Charlie.
Yeah. I'm going to say hi to Erica. Hi to Charlie.
Hi, Erica, Charlie.
All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Again, I'm gonna have a great topic. Always, be sure to click the link. Check on the.
Tell them about
what? Oh, she got a new tooth. She wanted y'all to know.
2.
She got 2 new teeth coming in at the bottom and the back. Man. Thank you, Narda. Appreciate you. Yeah, I gotta hit you up too. So she got 2 new teeth coming in. She wants y'all to know. You know what I'm saying? Big announcement. Yeah, they hurting.
I'll punch you in the face.